Gigabit Internet issa f'Malta. Gawdi mill-Giga Power biss mal-Melita Flexi.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this final round of the World Pro Racing Continental Cars Limited Porsche Championship. Here with me today, Justin, for this final round as usual, and me, Adrian, and together with us also we have David Carter, who will be commentating today's race. Today's race, final round of this championship, will be at the Intercity Circuit in Istanbul, where the winner of this championship will be having his experience driving real Porsches on the Intercity Circuit itself in Turkey. So, David, I would like to welcome you with us here today for this final round. I would just like to thank all our sponsors, especially Continental Cars Limited, Sandro Cauchi and Joan Camilleri for believing in us and being one of the first companies on board with us for this championship. Would like to thank also Melita, who's powering this stream, GT Omega Racing, Textor, Sim News TV, and Gaming Malta. So, David, you're here with us.
Hello there, and good evening, everyone, and thank you for everyone who's joining the stream. It is an absolute pleasure to be here for this final round here at Istanbul Intercity Circuit here, and thank you, Adrian, for that introduction as well. We'll be hearing more from yourself and Justin Mifsud as the evening progresses here. So, from what I understand, I mean, look, it says the session's in qualifying at the moment. Is that correct, by the way? Just to let you know, is it the qualifying session or is it practice?
No, right now we're on free practice. Official practice will start at 8 o'clock sharp. That is in 19 minutes. Then after the 15 minutes of practice, we have a 30-minute qualifying session, and then we have the 1-hour race. So right now it's just open practice from drivers who are on the server.
Good stuff. So I wasn't sure. Just sort of on my sheet said qualify. I was like, oh, getting a bit keen here. But yeah, so we are just in practice at the moment, and well, there's some exciting times coming up this evening. Obviously, we've got the 1-hour race later on this evening. So we've got a few drivers on the server at the moment. We've got 6 people on the server at the moment. Actually, no, 4 or 5 people actually driving. So it will be good to see what happens later on this evening. But as far as the championship's concerned, obviously this is the deciding round of the standings. So we've got Hani El Sabdi top of the standings, 138 points. He basically only has to finish the race tonight to be crowned champion of this series at World Pro Racing here, and the prize would be an awesome prize worth over €3,000. You know, it's the Porsche Experience Package, which will be the winner would travel to the Istanbul Intercity track where we are racing this evening, and he'll experience that. You know, all the flights, all the hotels, everything we paid for them. It'll be an amazing experience for the winner. It'll be out of Hani El Sabti, who is the strong favourite this evening, and also at Kevin Siggy, who no introductions needed for Kevin Siggy. He's a quality, well, they're both quality drivers in their own right. They've done a lot of things for Sim Racing in the past few years. It's been awesome to see them in different activities and different series taking part, and it's an absolute honour to see them race this evening.
Yeah, that's very right. It's definitely an exciting prize for who's gonna win this experience. As you well said, Hani El Sabti just needs to finish the race today. Unfortunately, as you can see also, we don't think we're gonna have much drivers participating in this last round. Unfortunately, some drivers just gave up along the championship because of the level also of certain drivers we have running in this championship. Professional drivers who have been actually almost dominating the whole series. So we'll be going for briefing in 2 minutes, for the live briefing in 2 minutes with all the drivers, and then we'll watch some more unofficial practice before we start practice at 8 o'clock.
It'll be an absolute pleasure to see it. So in a few minutes' time, we'll be jump over to the briefing and see what everyone has to say. You know, I might jump in there as well, just see, because I've never been in a briefing before, I must be honest. You know, so it'll be quite an interesting experience to see what everyone's thoughts will be as the session goes on. As I say, only 5 drivers at the moment in the server. Hopefully a few more will tag along before we do start the event. But as you rightly say as well there, Adrian, as well, such a level of competition, these drivers, the ability they have, you know, it sometimes can be quite off-putting for the other people taking part, thinking, well, I've got much chance of a win here, you know, no matter one race, but in the season as well, you know, it can be a bit of demotivating at the best of times, but it's always worth, you know, people trying to hang, because as I say, you know, I've briefly looked at the how the series and how the organisation is run. It does look very professionally run, very professionally maintained as well by the staff here. The drivers take it dead serious as well. So if you are watching this and you do fancy having a shot of driving in this series or any future series as well that's coming up in the future, I say feel free to contact the staff here and see if you get yourself on the grid one day.
So we're now moving to the briefing channel for the briefing of today, and we'll be back here to continue this commentary of today. So, hello everybody. Thanks for being with us for actually the whole championship, and especially today for the final round of this championship, round number 8 of the Porsche 911 GT3 Championship, today at the Intercity Circuit in Istanbul. I would like to once more thank our sponsors, which are Continental Cars Limited, Sandro Cauchi and Joe Camilleri, Melita, GT Omega Racing, Textor, SimNews.tv, and Gaming Malta. So, as everybody knows, we won't be definitely restarting any session unless a huge pileup or server disconnection happens. Actually, we didn't have such occurrences to date, so it's been, you know, all the practice in this briefing now. You got used to it quite well. Obviously, take care of the first corner. Penalty of the game applies, including any life penalties given by the stewards. It's important to observe the blue flags and you defend in the right manner. As you know, the race format will be a 15-minute practice session followed by 30 minutes qualification and 1 hour race. 15 minutes practice will kick off at 8 o'clock, which is 14 minutes from now. Don't forget you have your mandatory pit stop, which will open, the pit window will open 45 minutes remaining of the race to 30 minutes remaining of the race. Also, please don't abandon the race. If anything happens to you, just proceed to the pits, carry on any repairs that you need to do, and just carry on, do your necessary repairs and get back racing. It's important when you go out of the pit lane, please observe the pit line so that nobody goes over that line and get unnecessary penalties. At the end of the race, as usual, please proceed to the pits instead of just disappearing from the track. So if you're in channels where other people are with you, just put your Discord on push to talk so that you don't disturb others. So basically that's it. Any questions from your side? Great. So we're going for a short commercial break and we'll be back with you.
Thank you. They called it madness. Building the car of your dreams yourself. Madness. Putting the engine in the back. Madness. Launching a turbocharged super sports car in the midst of a worldwide oil crisis. Madness. Taking a sports car into the desert and taking the insights gained there back onto the streets. Madness. Madness. Building the first hybrid car on Earth. And when its time had come, the fastest one on Earth. Once more, they called it madness. Let them call it madness. We call it courage. The courage to build a sports car with 4 business class seats. The courage to upgrade not only the driving, but also the driver. The courage to transfer an unmistakable design DNA and create a luxury saloon that was born on the racetrack and is at home on the roads. The new Panamera. Courage changes everything.
Gigabit Internet issa f'Malta. Gawdi mill-Giga Power biss mal-Melita Flexi.
And we're back for this final round of the Porsche 911 GT3 Championship, brought to you by Continental Cars Limited and World Pro Racing. Would like to thank once again our sponsors, Continental Cars Limited, Sandro, especially Sandro Cauco and John Camilleri, who believed in us from day one and have been on board for this championship, giving us also the great prize we're given to the winner of this championship and real Porsche experience on track at the Intercity circuit in Istanbul. Thanks also to Melita, which are powering actually this stream, GT Omega Racing, Textor, CNews.tv and Gaming Malta. For those that have joined now today with us, we have David Carter as our commentator. So on to you, David. We'll be going for official practice in 4 minutes' time.
Thank you very much, Adrian. That is brilliant. As I say, nice adverts there as well. I was just watching the stream as well in the corner of my eye. You know, very nice adverts there from your sponsors and very professional as well. But as I say, as we're going into practice, about 4 or so minutes time here. I'm just looking at the lap times. There's only really been a couple of people out on track. Bernard Vella there in P1 on a 55.7 as he just nearly loses it going into the left-right chicane, going into the back straight there, and Omar Barbara there in P2. He's currently on a 57.5. He's currently going into the again the same area of track as Bernard Vella was going through there. But I say exciting session coming up because I see we've got the names like Capit, Siggy taking part there as well. I say we will have Hani Al Sabti coming into the server as well in a few moments' time. So we'll have probably about 5 or 6 drivers take part, but I say it's going to be good quality racing and driving nonetheless. So exciting event coming up, guys.
Yeah, that's very right. As you well said now, unfortunately, some drivers gave up during this championship and didn't continue till the end. Obviously, the last round is always the last round, and people could be missing from here, but definitely the top contenders and top drivers are here with us today for a definite exciting race like we always had in this Porsche Championship. We are currently following some unofficial practice. We'll be starting practice in official practice in 3 minutes time, which will run for 15 minutes. Then we have a 30-minute qualification session, followed by 1 hour race, where also all the drivers have a mandatory pit stop, which will open 45 minutes remaining to the end of the race until 30 minutes remaining of the race.
So a very exciting event coming up. And as I said earlier, if you may have missed it, but if you are watching this broadcast and you think, I fancy a bit of that sort of action later on during the year or next year, or if you fancy looking into other series that World Pro Racing are going to be providing, then feel free to look at their website or on their Facebook page as well and see what events are coming up. I've already got a bit of an insight to what's coming up, and I'll tell you what, it sounds really, really exciting. And I say, feel free to have a look and tune in to some of these broadcasts. And I'll tell you what, it sounds really, really fantastic. It just needs the people following this and the people doing it on the track as well. And it's going to be really, really impressive stuff coming on in the future. As I say, a couple of minutes now before we get to official practice. I'll say a long event ahead. You know, a lot of things can happen. Obviously, track rubbering in and people developing their setups and stuff. But it's looking really, really exciting as far as even the championship's concerned, with obviously Al Sabti and Kevin Sickie fighting out this evening.
Yeah, sure. As we said earlier, also practically Hani Al Sabti just needs to end the race, and he will be automatically crown champion. But obviously, nobody knows what can happen during the race. So definitely, we'll see at the end of this race of today, the final round, who will be crowned champion for this Porsche GT3 911 championship.
I say as well, it's a wonderful track as well to finish the season off here. Obviously, Intercity Istanbul here as well. It's always been a favourite of mine when went to Formula One, but also like back in the day as well. You look at the early 2000s or mid 2000s, DTM came here. You know, we've had GT racing here in the past as well. All sorts of formulas. Well, it's a track that I myself really like to race on because it's such an interesting track. You know, it's also a track as well that really keeps you on your toes as well. I don't know what you guys feel about it, but it's always been a track that I've really enjoyed, particularly Turn 8 as well.
Yeah, sure. Something that we experienced also throughout this championship, apart from this particular track, but we experienced professional racing, actually not too much to do to the stewards in all 7 past rounds. So that means that all drivers understood what we're looking at, what we want, and obviously the level of racing also we look at. So official practice just started now, and we see that Omar Barbara is the first driver on track in this official practice, where we have now 14 minutes left in this practice session.
Yeah, it's first car on the racetrack, Omar Barbara here. It goes through just finishing the first sector here, and it's I say really nice liveries as well. I've just noticed it. First time, obviously, first time I'm here this season, of course, and really nice to see how everything's run here. But for very nice liveries as well, sponsors as well, nicely placed in the cars as well, which is good to see. And I say just going through turn 8 now is Omar Barbara here. Now, obviously, it's a 1-hour race as well. Obviously, interesting how the tyres react around a circuit like this, because obviously there's a lot of long corners like turn 8 there, for example, as well. Quite a few technical sections like this one actually here coming up as well. There's sort of 9 and 10 sort of like through the left, and then on the power straight away, using as much as the curb as you can through there. Excuse me. I mean, what sort of thing about tyre wear do you expect around this sort of track?
You know, drivers actually run different strategies, so depends. Actually, I didn't follow so much the drivers during practice sessions they had, but we'll see what kind of degradation they will have on tires. We'll definitely see that in their timings during the race. So if we see that they're going slower and early in the race, that will mean definitely there is a high tire wear on this racetrack.
Yeah, it's a very exciting one in that regard as well. You know, see how a strategy plays out. Just watching Barbara here. He's just going out turns 1 and 2, and now going to this lovely section. I really like this part of track myself. You know, then around the left of turn 3, and then just all of a sudden you have to put on the anchors here and go down to turn 4, and it's all downhill, lots of elevation change, and you have to get to car as far right as you can to get a good line through turn 5. And then exit there is 6 as well. The little kink there as he goes down this straight here uphill, and can brake nice and late into it in this car, in the GT3 car, just before the curve starts at turn 7. Hug the curve on the inside, let the car run out as well, get on full power as you go through into this turn 8 section here. It's down the curve on the right hand side and blend the car into the corner, hit the apexes, hit the curves on the left hand side, and then wash the car out there. It's always difficult there to handle the car there. It's always wanting to wash it out and understeer wide. But he got a decent run out of there as he goes into braking here. 120 metres before the corner, into the left. Hugged the curb on the left hand side. On the right as well. Let the car come out to the left hand side on exit there as you go down this straight here. And you'll be approaching about 165 miles an hour here down this straight, or if you're in kilometres now, about 265 kilometres an hour here down this straight. And you've got to pick out your braking point here as well. It's a bit difficult to do so. About 140 metres before the corner, stand on the anchors. Hug the curb on the left-hand side there nicely as well. And then this, again, a really nice, tricky, technical section here, which you can really make or break your lap. Left, right, and then this final left-hand here. Use the AstroTurf on the right way out as well. So he crosses the line here. This is going to be something like a 1:57.9. So obviously, I've seen lap times quicker than that. Obviously, people may be on race fuel as well as it stands, but that's a lap round into City Istanbul Park around this circuit.
Yep. Now also we have Hani Al Sabti, who's on track. We're following him here on screen. He's doing his first flying lap now. We see also that Tristo, Kevin, and Bernard Villa are on track also. And we have only Richard Schaefer, who's still in the...
Yeah, he's still in the pits at the minute, is Schaefer there. So we've got 6 cars on the server at the moment. I say, but hopefully pretty nice close racing. Because I say, you know, they're all good quality drivers. Obviously, there's going to be some names that if people are watching the stream, they've heard before, either here or elsewhere as well in the past, you know. So it's a really good international grid, if not a small grid, but you know, international quality nonetheless. You know, everyone's heard of the likes of Siggy and Capit and Al Sabti from the past, and if they've really followed sim racing the last couple of years, they would have seen those names elsewhere for sure. So Sabti's now going through the turn 8, and let's see how he takes this turn 8 now. Really, really nicely. Doesn't go out wide either, which is quite ideal line. I mean, you see a lot of cars running wide in the third part of that corner, and it really unsettles the car. You know, they've got to try and keep that car nice and tight, and then let the car run out as the corner goes straight there as well. So always a difficult part of track. Yeah, but Al Sabti here obviously looking to just finish the race this evening, and he will we will be crowned champion for this 911 GT3 championship here this evening. He just goes towards the final part of the lap here in practice, but obviously the season's been a dominant one really for Al Sabti. You know, 6 wins out of 7 races so far this season. Obviously looking to make it 7 out of 8. I mean, it's just been a dominant performance, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. That's a brilliant performance from Hani Al Sabti in this championship, winning 6 races out of 7. Definitely we'll see another exciting race today, especially from the front runners of this championship. So looking forward to the race, which will start in we have 8 minutes left of practice, then we have half an hour of qualifications, and then we have the race of 1 hour straight afterwards.
It'll be interesting to see where this championship falls, because I really like the GT3 car. I say it's a really nice car, obviously very popular, particularly in Europe and in Australia as well. Well, in real life as well. It'll be interesting to see, you know, if we get more names on the grid next year. It'd be a really, really good championship to see next year. You know, say 20 or 25 cars on the grid, something like that. That'd be a really, really good spectacle this year. You know, because I've looked at the calendar briefly as well from the previous rounds. It's a really good calendar that was built up as well. So if we keep these names on the grid next year and then just add to it, it'd be a really, excuse me, a really exciting spectacle to see for sure.
Yeah, sure. Obviously enough, we all also hope that Continental Cars Limited will be back with us for next year's championship. Possibly same championship or something different, but we're hoping they will be on board with us and we'll see another exciting championship.
I'll say, would it be good to announce the other series that's coming in the near future, or do you want to keep that under wraps for now?
No, actually, people do know about it because we did a soft launch of the series. Something interesting, we should also say that we'll ask our viewers to keep a watch on us for this coming weekend, where we're going to have this collaboration with Grip, which will lead also to a virtual championship next year. But this weekend we have the real drivers from the championship who will be taking it to the virtual racing world, having a practice session on Saturday and 2 races and qualifications on Sunday. Interestingly enough, the points from this virtual race will also be added to their real championship points. So definitely something new, something exciting, like we always bring from World Pro Racing.
Oh, I tell you what, that sounds amazing. You know, it's just like they have to take the sim racing seriously. Obviously, we've seen real racers do sim racing before, but you've heard, you know, some take it seriously, not so much. Some of them not so, but you know, they have to get into a simulator, and obviously it feels a bit different to the real life car as well. So there'd be an element of learning from those guys, and it's just gonna be an amazing spectacle. You know, just to see, you know, all the race drivers have to take part in the sim racing side of it, and it'd be brilliant here at World Pro Racing here to get that coverage as well. You know, just see all the real race drivers. It's going to be the same sort of preparation they have to do for a sim race as they have to do for a real race as well. It's going to be an amazing spectacle, and it'd be a pleasure to be able to broadcast that here at World Pro Racing as well. It's going to be an amazing spectacle. I hope you guys who are watching at the moment will tune in for that. I am sure to at least tune in, if not be here in the commentary box. You know, it will be a pleasure to be in on that. It's going to be a great spectacle, and to get the chance to talk to some real race drivers as well. It's going to be a fantastic event. That is one thing that we'll be looking forward to here at World Pro Racing.
Yeah, surely. As you said, it's something different and exciting to watch. Obviously enough, it's I think it's the way forward. We know that nowadays a lot of drivers are actually also doing a lot of training on simulators. So yes, it will be great, and it's something that even us are looking forward to see these real live racers from their real car, their real grip car, going into the virtual world and racing there also. This will lead also to the championship, which will be the G1 Virtual Championship by Grip. A championship will be announcing all details very soon about this championship. That also, the winner of this championship will have a full day testing with the real car in Italy. So full setup with the mechanics with you, you know what I mean, and all the pit crew related to this series, and they'll be going out and driving this car in real life also on the track in Italy. So that's another great prize, another great experience for the winner of this championship.
It is. So, you know, it's basically two series in one. You've got the real racers doing the sim racing, and then you guys at home, if you want to take part in the obviously the one for the sim racing drivers as well, you can do that as well. So it's a fabulous opportunity for you guys to get involved and win such a fabulous prize as well in Italy. You know, getting to drive the real car. I've actually tested the sim racing car very briefly around Monza. I'll tell you what, it's a really nice car. You know, good setup choices as well. You can really change the car to how you want it as well. It's a fabulous little car. And I say it does about 140 miles an hour as well. So it's no slouch at all. It's a nice little single-seater car particularly to get into an introduction into single-seater racing as well. It's a really nice car, and I hope that the people who are involved will take take it as seriously as the price suggests, and it's going to be some fabulous racing.
Yeah, sure. It's definitely a good starter for a Formula car. It's exciting. It's fun to drive. We're looking forward also for this championship, which also extends our vision of World Pro Racing, where we have our vision to taking drivers from the sim racing world to the real world of racing. But also, there are drivers that want to keep to the world of sim racing, and we also support those drivers fully. We know that nowadays sim racing is growing bigger and more professional, so definitely there are also opportunities of full-time jobs in this sector of esports nowadays, like it's happening with other esport games online. So
It's massive, isn't it? It's massive. Like even in recent days, you've seen that in Germany now they consider it a real sport now, sim racing now. So it's fantastic. I mean, for the people who've been doing it for many years, it's fabulous to see them take sim racing so seriously now. Not just in Germany, of course, but all over the world now. You just get to see all these competitions up nearly every week, almost. So every month, there's another big event coming up and being broadcasted live on YouTube or Facebook or even TV nowadays. So it's a pleasure to see such a sport developing over the last few years. It's fabulous to be a part of it, and long may it continue, that's for sure. Just looking at the times, obviously 1 minute left to practice. We've got Kevin Siggy at the top of the time on a 55.2, followed by Velo on a 55.5, and now Sabdi on a 55.9. So you got top 5 drivers there within a second of each other, on a lap that's nearly 2 minutes long. That's a very good, a promising sign for this evening. That is for sure. Top 5 within a second. The other stage, it'd just be interesting to see what the other drivers, of course, like Siggy, like Vela, like Al Sabti, like Capit, for example, have in their locker to potentially get a bit more speed out of the car.
yeah, definitely those times will okay, it's a practice session, so it could mean nothing, but definitely we're having a vision of what could be during the race. So as you said, well said, this is definitely a view to an exciting race when you see the times of the top drivers so close to each other. Good to say also that Bernard Vella with his second best time, he's a young driver, 16-year-old driver, who also during the Sim Expo this year managed to beat the F1 2017 eSport champion Brandon Lee challenge done by Waveton and Formula Simulator, thus winning that challenge on Brandon Lee. So definitely Bernard Vella is another driver to look out and watch out for, and he's coming from the GT Omega RPM eSport team.
Incredible stuff. And so, of course, many thousands of hundreds of thousands of people would have saw that Brendan Lee victory last year as well. To be able to beat him in any stage, it's impressive to see. So congratulations for Bernard Vella on that part. He's here now. He's fighting with the best of them. And it's a real pleasure to see. Always good to see, because obviously from my background, I don't know all these drivers for sure. So to just sort of learn these names and what they've done in the past, it's always a pleasure to see, and it's always names to look out for in the future to sort of see what they've done and what they can potentially do as well. And I say, with all the times being so close at the moment in practice, even like Schliffler there in P5 on a 56.1 as well, it's still very respectable from him. Barbara just having to get the time, hopefully get the time down a little bit in qualifying. And in the race, he might just be getting a couple of sighters in or doing a few setup changes before the qualifying begins. But I say everyone very respectable, and hopefully we'll see more of the same.
Yeah, sure. Definitely. Now, as you see that the practice session is over, we'll wait for the qualifying session, which will be 30 minutes long, and we'll see who'll manage to grab the pole position in this intercity track in Istanbul.
Yeah, for sure. As I've just realised I've accidentally done a couple of things I shouldn't have done there. I wondered why my wheel was going a bit all over the place, but we're now in the qualifying session. as we're just going to join that. So say we've got 40 seconds till it all begins, of course. We'll just...
Yeah, that's right. Qualifying session is now on, so we'll see who will be the first driver on track on this qualifying session. So we see that Bernard Vella is the first driver on track in this qualification session. Let's see who will manage to grab pole position in this 8th round of the Continental Cars Limited Porsche 911 GT3 Championship.
So Vella is the first man again to get out on the circuit here. You know, he's just doing his outlap now. I'm just going to see where everyone else is on the circuit. It looks like Vella is the first man out on the circuit. Everyone just trying to get a bit of space, warm up their tyres and brakes and so on, get the car to temperature and see where they go. I mean, have you guys got any predictions of how this qualifying is going to go? Do you have a prediction who's going to get the pole today?
So, well, I'm not very good at predictions, but obviously, taking it from the past rounds, obviously, I know there is Kevin Siggy is doing quite well also today, as we've seen in the qualifications, in the practice session. So, yeah, definitely, I think the top 3 drivers could be, from what we've seen till now, between Kevin, Hani, and Bernard. So we'll see. Holm, and there is also Risto. Wow, Capit. We'll see. Definitely will be the poleman. But from previous experiences, I would bet also on Hani Al-Sabti himself. But we'll see what happens today.
We'll see what happens. I'm just going to go on board actually with Bernard Vella as he's just about to start his first lap out on the circuit. Here he is as he crosses the line to start his first lap here in anger, you can say now, around Istanbul. Turn 1 there, he takes that very aggressively. He was on the throttle and he runs wide as a result out of turn 2 as he goes down there. So a bit, he might have lost a little bit of time there as a result compared to what he could do as he hugs the curb on the outside there, going up to turn 3. Here it is. And turn 4, here it is. It comes out. He's so quickly here, but he doesn't really hit the apex so much there through 4. I must have said he could have took that a little bit tighter. There goes turn 5. And 6 there. He gets a nice drive out of there. Now setting himself up here for turn 7. He goes to the left-hand side of the track. Brakes just before the curb. Starts there on the left-hand side to turn 7. Hugs that curb on the inside. That right-hander. Nicely done there. Hugs the right-hand side here before the launch into turn 8. Here it comes. And he goes down to 4th gear. Takes about 100 miles an hour. Through here about 160 k's. Accelerates out the corner there. Runs very wide on the exit there. On the AstroTurf there in 5th gear. Now goes up to 155 miles an hour. About 230 k. As he breaks into 3rd gear there. For the left-right chicane. Again, runs wide out of there again. Let's get the best run out of there, but now down this back straight. Get up to 6th gear now. He'll go up to about 165 miles an hour, about 265 k's. Up the hill and then down the decline here, down into the braking zone here. Brakes about 140 meters before the corner. Into the left-hander. Stays nice and tight there on the inside. Takes about 50 miles an hour. Through the right-hander there. Again, about 50 miles an hour. And then sort of, I'll try and be very precise into that left-hander there. Takes that again at 2nd gear as he accelerates across the line here. His first lap time will be when the time comes up, which the time did not come up. There we are, 55.7 there, so not too bad. I thought Siggy there just about beats it there at 55.5. And then Sabti again trumps that at 55.365 there. So very, very close to Schleifer there on a 55.8, so half a second there, currently topping the top 4 as Vella actually does set. This time didn't register there off the seat.
Yeah, obviously didn't register because of a track cut he did. So actually for the platform that will be an invalid lap.
Oh, I see. Yeah, sorry. I thought he a bit slow crossing the line. And obviously I saw Capit's time there, so hopefully Vella will be able to set another lap time in. But at the front there, look at that, half a second covering the first 4 cars there. So really nice starting point there, and a good base for those drivers to be from. Just gonna
Yeah,
go.
sure. As you can see also now, Hania Sapti managed to do great time. So we'll see now during this qualification session if anybody will manage to beat actually Hani's time, which is at 1:55.365. And at least till now, my predictions are.
Yeah, they're still there, aren't they? You said Hanny should get the pole today, and it looks like it's at this stage at least. It's still a long way to go. 24 minutes of session still to go here, so it's still a long way to go. And it looks like a few people will be doing a couple of laps, and then maybe pitting. I'm just going to keep an eye of cars come across the line for the second time. Aristo Capit is just about to finish his second lap here as he runs wide out the final corner there, using a lot of track on the exit there. I'm not sure if that's going to be an improvement. No, it doesn't look like so. As Siggy does take the provisional pole there on a 53.47, but then yet again trumped there again by Al-Sapti on a 55.2. So Siggy and Al-Sapti does improve their lap times there as well. So they're setting the benchmarks now for everyone else to try and beat them. So as they come through it round again, I'm not sure if we're going to do a third lap here. It seems like the tyres do seem to last quite a while. It looks like they're all pushing again for a third time. Let's see.
Yeah, sure. Tires will last because obviously they have only one compound available, which is a hard compound. So definitely that's a tire that will last quite a few laps before starting.
So I'm just seeing. I say Vela is still sort of like, again, the first man to cross the line again. But again, he didn't manage to improve on his second lap there. So hopefully this time he will be able to do something here. I'm going to see if I've got a little tool that will help me see where his live timing will be. There should have something here. So it looks like at the minute he's he's run wide again. Look at that. He's completely off the circuit there. So a bad one out of there. And that's ruined his lap yet again. Vela being a bit scruffy here in the opening few laps, but he might, what I'd probably do at this stage, probably pit, stick some fresh rubber on that car and try again in a few moments' time, because obviously a long way to go as of yet. As he's coming round now in that final part of the lap, I wouldn't be surprised to see him pit this time round. Actually, no, he proves to be completely wrong when he goes round again, so fingers crossed this time he'll have a bit more luck out of this run. Let's see what he does here in this lap here. Let's see if he can get any closer to the guys in front of me. Here he goes into turn one. Not a bad line, but he runs wide on exit again. So again, not as a Schaefer there. He improves his time to 55.7, getting ahead of Barbera there and getting very close to Capit. So a good little improvement there from him. He'd be looking to improve that again and try and get ahead of Capit and maybe into those front guys as well. That's a nice run there from him. So we're looking down into Vela's there. He goes out of turn 6, goes down again, hugging the left-hand side of the track as he gets into the braking point here for turn 7. Takes a nice shallow line into the corner, hugs the curb there on the right-hand side there. Gets the power on very nicely there, and he's looking at the moment to improve his time. That's one thing for sure. Here comes turn 8. Hugs the curves nicely there once and twice. He hits the curves on the left-hand side with the tyre. Gets a nice run out of there. Look at that. Doesn't run too wide. But he runs a bit wide out of there, but he should be okay with that one. Looking at his delta time, he's about 800 off his best lap time here. Here he goes through the chicane. That's a nice lap. Oh, he gets a bit squiggly there under power. He gets a nice run out of the corner there. As we come under the bridge here into the back straight here, turn through the kink. Gets up to about 160 miles an hour. As he comes down into the braking point here, he has to judge his braking point just after the 150 board. There we go. Brakes, puts on the anchors there and runs a little bit wide. Doesn't really hit the apex there properly, but he recovers it nicely. Through the right-handed out. And now through the left-handed. Again, taking it gingerly there through the final corner. Now, where's this going to put him? It's an improvement on his last time round, and there he goes, a 55.8 there. So there, he's in the mix now. So everyone's done, you would say, a respectable lap time, as 1/3 of the session's now gone. 20 minutes to go. That's an interesting lap there by Villa, wasn't it, guys?
Yeah, sure. Obviously, it was his first valid lap, so definitely he did the best he could for this first valid lap, and we can see once more that from first driver to the fifth driver, we have like just 6.5 tenths of difference. So definitely, drivers here are doing very, very similar times. Obviously enough, 6 tenths is quite a lot, but that will definitely give us a view of an exciting race, because obviously anything can happen. One slight mistake and somebody can lose also his position.
I can for sure. All I know is if I was 6 tenths off these guys, I'd be getting nosebleeds. That's for sure. I'd be absolutely delighted if I was that far away. How Sabdi is very close here to beating his time, but I don't think it's quite going to improve. Actually, he did. Yeah, very slight improvement at 55.226 as he crossed the line there. So it's a very, very slight improvement there on his time. Ziggy's also about to finish his lap there as well. He's currently provisionally up on his delta, about a 10th up as he goes through the final corner. Now, will he be able to gain that time back? Here he is. He's going to come across the line. Where's this going to put him now? There he goes. A slight improvement again, a 2.98 from Ziggy. So, again, just a few hundreds off of Al Sabti's time there. That is for sure. And Caput across the line, but does not improve on his time. He's still there on a 7.03 as he crosses the line there and starts another lap. Got Schleifer there as well. He's currently getting very sideways out of the corner. That's his lap pretty much ruined there. As, everyone else seems to be just setting themselves up there for another lap. As it stands at the moment, we've got Barbara there as well. He's currently on a lap, but he's not improving as it stands. But we're nearly halfway through the session now. As cars seem to be getting in the rhythm now. They seem to be getting those lap times down. We might even see a 54 pop in by the end of the session. I don't know what you guys think on that, but they do look like they'll be getting settled down now and getting those lap times down. So Sabdi is now nearly 3 tenths up as he goes under the bridge there. So he's on here for a low 55, possibly even a 54. As he gets into the braking zone here once again, down to second gear, takes that nice and tight. Gets into the right-hander there as well. Again, a nice little line through there. And he hits the curb nicely there on the exit there as well. He's going to be up here. It all depends how fast he can be as he crosses the line. And there it is, a 55.0 over Hani Al Sabdi. That is a cracking lap time there from him, and setting the benchmark once again. It's like he's saying to the others, come on, try and beat that, because that is going to be tricky to beat.
Definitely, that's a great time from Hani Al Sabdi, and it's gonna be, let's say, difficult to beat. But we see that Kevin Siggy he's quite close to Hani, and I think possibly he can better his time, but very difficult to beat the current time of Hani Al Sabti, which now he's back in pits, and if he keeps the trend of his past races, he might stay there till the end, or just come out obviously to grab some more experience. So on this track that he actually downloaded today for this race. So yes, actually he's back on track, Hani Al Sabti. Let's see if he'll manage to go in the 154s.
Well, if he's only just got the track downloaded, you know, he's a good chance he's going to go faster, because I guess the other guys here have done a bit more practice than what Hani's done, so you could expect to see Hani even faster than what he's done at the minute. That's one thing for sure. As he goes down towards turn 7 here, you know, on his outlap here as well. So he might be just even doing more tweaks to the car, you know, as far as the setup concerned. He's only just got the track, you know, he may not be 100% happy with how the car's going. So we will see where he ends up at the end of the session. But you've got to say he's looking strong as he's going halfway now in the session. 15 minutes to go here. Now, our Sabdi currently top of the standing, followed by Siggy, followed by Capit, followed by Schleifer, Vela, and Barbara. They're rounding up the 6 cars taking part so far this evening. Let's just see if anyone else is on a quicker lap here. We've got Kevin Siggy, actually, who's going a fair bit faster. He was green in the as he approached the chicane. Let's see if this will make him any faster. He gets a good run out of that chicane, but I don't think this is going to be quicker than his previous. Let's have a look. And no, it doesn't. He doesn't get him any quicker, but he was looking good, actually. So he's got the speed in him to potentially topple Sabdi off the top of the standings here. But as it stands, not improving at the moment. So, as well as Capit as well, and he's not able to improve either. So no one's really been able to take each other off each other's perch as it stands. I mean, it's still have Sabdi from Siggy, from Capit, from Schleifer, from Vela, from Barbara as it stands. But Barbara's looking good in this first sector. He's currently up by about 4/10, so he's looking really good to at least improve and get himself into the 57s at least as it stands. As he's getting some good practice in and good preparation here to get himself a faster time.
Yeah, sure. We'll see that during the practice, more time, qualifications. The more time that passes, we'll see the drivers obviously improving on the times. Definitely, it's not an easy track, but we're seeing now quite consistent runs from these drivers, quite consistent laps. So we'll see if Hani Al-Sabti will manage to keep his pole position.
Very possibly, as Ricardo Costa is actually watching the stream. Actually, hello Ricardo, hope you're doing well, and hope you're recovering after the last night's Brazil antics in GPWC Super League. He commented saying that Hani for an easy win. He's saying here, well, I say he has to finish the race to be crowned champion. But I say he's going to say he's thinking, well, you know, he's going to get 7 out of 8. So that's where Ricardo Costa's sitting on the fence, sitting as far as the result's going to be concerned. So he's looking for a Hani win this evening. As we're just looking at some more times. Siggy does improve to a 55.184, and Capit also improves to 55.515. That's apparently Ricardo doesn't remember anything about Super League. Well, there was a lot of water involved, put it that way. Let's face it. And let's face it, Ricardo might have had a lot of water inside him, you could say, after judging by that comment. So I hope you're doing well, and Ricardo. You know, it's a pleasure to see you here, as to the other viewers watching the stream. As we're looking at, I'm looking at our Sabdi again. He's currently up, or he was up on his first sector. It looks like he's lost a little bit of time as he goes through turns 5 and 6. I don't think anyone else is currently on the a lot of times, but no one's really improved. We just saw Siggy there. He's currently in the pit. He's getting really nice and close to our Sabdi. He's currently actually looking to leave the just left the pits actually now, looking to try and topple Sabdi from the top.
But possibly Hani Al-Sabti is yet on another flying lap, because we saw some greens on his sectors. So we'll see until the end of this lap if he'll manage to better his time of 1:54.04.
Yeah, so he could just about dip into those 54s. You just don't know. As we've got 11 minutes left, so nearly 2/3 of the session has passed. As he's going down the back straight once again here. Interesting to see if he's doing any tweaks to that car, particularly like the aero on that car, because that back straight is very important, particularly getting that slipstream. It's very powerful down that straight. So you're going an uphill, then you're going downhill as the straight unfolds into that braking zone. It's a very, very good opportunity to pass on this racetrack. Now Sabdi now going out of the final corner, and he's just about not going to do it. I don't think he's going to cross the line. It's going to be very, very close. And he doesn't quite improve, but very consistent nonetheless. I think it was a 55.056 that particular lap time. So he's looking good to improve. Velas looks like he's going to improve on his lap time as he crosses the line. This is a 6.63 from here. So he gets closer to Capit, but not quite enough to topple him as it stands here. A couple of cars on and out lap at the moment. I'm just going to go on board with Haniel Sabti here. He's going through turns 4, 5 and 6. He's currently up on his delta. Goes through there, gets a bit of a bad run, and no, he runs completely off the track. And that's his lap ruined, and they'll have to try again to try and dip into those 54s. No one else at the minute is currently up, apart from Barbera. He's still at 58.064. Making some nice time up here through this section here on the track. And he's currently in P6 at the moment. 6 out of 6 runners, but he's 3/10 up on his time. He's trying to get into those 57s. He breaks nicely into turn 6, trying to get a good run. Doesn't quite hit the apex, but still gets a nice run out the corner. He goes up the hill, out of 7 into turn 8 here. He's currently half a second up on his time. He goes down to 4th gear, taking about 100 miles an hour through here, or about 170 Ks. As he goes out of turn 8, runs a bit wide onto the AstroTurf, but still keeping up on his time. Down into 3rd gear, 65 miles an hour as he gets from the left and through the right. It's a decent exit out there. Now pedal to the metal now as he goes into down a straight. Currently about 6/10 up on his time here as he goes up the hill and then into the decline, into the braking zone at the end of the lap here. Goes into this left-hander now, about 8/10 up on his time, so it's looking good. Oh, and he just loses a little bit of speed into that right-hander. And this is looking better. This is looking better here from Barbara as he crosses the line here. And that's a bit more like 57.3, so he'll be a bit happy with that. Still 2.3 off the pole, but it will be happy with that for sure. Just looking out as well, other people on their laps. It doesn't look like anyone's really improving as of yet. It's still a very tough time to crack, isn't it? A 55.0, and all the guys pushing their damnedest to improve. But one thing, Adrian, as I say, that as the session progresses, do you think that people are going to particularly looking at their race setup potentially?
It's like we'll definitely have now cars running at low fuels, so they will definitely look at I'm gonna have a slower race pace definitely than what we're seeing here, but they're getting better as you can see. So even Omar Barbara managed to make a better time on himself, so the more practice, as I said, and you said also very well earlier, it's not an easy track at all, this track, intercity track in Istanbul, but definitely great track to look at, and obviously that even the drivers is they need to not struggle, but obviously it's difficult on them to handle the car in this racetrack here.
It is a great circuit here at Istanbul, and if anyone's watching us, say feel free to post any comments if they've got a favourite race of either in the real life or in the sim racing world of their or best memories of Istanbul. You know, it is a fantastic circuit. Unfortunately, the Formula One calendars, unfortunately, for the last few years has not been able to turn up to for various reasons. But I say it's a fantastic circuit. I just wish it was just had a bit more popularity, you know, and more fans turned up to the track, and or even in a different location, because it's a super track. It's a track that I certainly used to like doing some laps on in the past. You know, it's a fantastic. Particularly, it was actually a PS2 game I actually first found out this track on. Was a Toca Race Driver in the DTM car. You know, it's a fabulous car to drive around this circuit. I mean, there's other people out there who's not so keen on this circuit. I'm a big fan of it. You know, it's all the elevation changes, there's the technical sections, there's a lot of it is flat out as well, like this section here as Kevin Siggy is going through now. This turn 8, you have to blend the car into the corner and then flat out of it as well, and you get a nice run down here into the braking zone here in turns 9 and 10.
Yep, it's also good to thank once more our sponsors for this championship. which are Continental Cars Limited, thanks to Sandro and Joanne. We would like to thank Melita for powering our stream, also GT Omega Racing, Tech Store, SimNews.tv, and Gaming Malta. GT Omega Racing also provided us with simulators and also a nice comfortable chair here in our studios. Definitely a good chair to use for the gamers out there, and even as an office chair.
And if they are watching this streaming, you know, if you can lend me one of those chairs as well, that'd be fantastic. I'm only joking. I'm joking. I'm very comfortable here where I'm sitting as well. But so we're just. It does sound. I have seen a picture of that chair. Actually, it's really, really nice. You know, very good all-round chair. And for those people watching, you know, feel free to take a look at their websites as well as Continental Cars Limited as well. They do a super job. You know, all the sponsors here do a super job, and you can see on the cars as well. Some of them actually have some of their sponsors on the cars as well. So it's great to see, and I hope all these sponsors they carry on supporting this series long into the future. Because they've got the talent on the track as well. It's you know, I always say, you know, if people like this are racing here, like Al Sabti, like Siggy, like Capit, like Vela. You know, if these people are racing here, you know, it's obviously not a bad organisation. Just needs the people to watch. And if anyone else is watching this at home, I say feel free to have a look at World Pro Racing and see if they'll get themselves on the grid. If you didn't tune in earlier, they do have some fantastic series coming up, including the Grip series, which is 2 different series. One actually for the real racing drivers, taking part in a real series of grip cars, and they're going to actually doing a sim racing series alongside it and combining the 2 points of the championships together. So that is going to be an outstanding series to look out for, because the real racing drivers doing the sim series will be taking it just as seriously as the real counter. And obviously there will be a sim racing drivers version of the same series available for you guys watching at home to take part out as well in the near future as well. And I've driven the Grip car. It is a fabulous car to drive, I must admit. I've only done a few laps, but it feels really nice. The handling's really nice in the car. I've driven it around Monza, and it's not the fastest car in the world, only just about 140 miles an hour, but it's a really nice handling car, and you just know it's going to deliver really close racing as well. As I say, you know, we've got 2.5 minutes of the session to go. As I've just noticed now, no one has yet managed to improve their times, but I think there is a couple of people looking to improve. Obviously, people very close actually to their times. I'm just looking. Bella now is very, very close to improving his lap time here. As he's going to cross the line, he might just pit Resto Capit here. As he crosses the line, he's a couple of attempts up, and indeed he does. He goes up to P3. So a great sign there from Vela. You know, living up to his reputation of a very fast sim racer, beating the ACL driver there, Risto Capit. That is a fabulous achievement there, and he should be very happy with that. But he's going out again, looking to improve his time straight away. Is anyone else on a quick lap here? We've got Sig is on a quick one, or fairly quick one, but he's not currently doing any personal best. There's Barbara there as well, looking to improve his time. He's currently up, but he's only gone through the first couple of corners of the lap.
Something good to say also, that the winner of this championship will have actually the experience driving various Porsches on this track itself, which is the Intercity track in Istanbul. So we're watching now laps being done by the possible winners or winner of this championship, and they will be experiencing this live in the very near future at Istanbul, Turkey.
I'll tell you one thing as well. I mean, when people get a real life drive as well, I've seen the most famous example of it is Rudy Van Buren. You know, he's obviously the simulator and test driver at McLaren. You know, in real life, what a fabulous experience that is for him. You know, and long may that continue. I wish him all the best. But also, you've got people like Tim Heineman out there as well. He's had real life experiences in testing cars as well. You've got so many examples as well of people winning competitions on sim racing games, and their careers literally take off from there, and they get well known. They get people watching the test, and it may one day potentially in the future come out to be a real life drive, because you sometimes you get watched and people watch you drive when you're testing out all these cars as well. So it's going to be a fabulous opportunity for the winner. Obviously, it's out of Hani El Sabti, and also it's out of Kevin Siggy, being the long shot to win this championship, as qualifying is just finished, by the way. Say all, you know, people on their final laps, but El Sabti is the favourite here to get that prize. He just basically needs to finish the race, which is a 1 hour race for those who don't know, and he will take the title here today, unless something extreme happens to him in this event. So you've got Siggy there out as well. He's also on a lap, but I don't see anyone else improving. So it looks like to me, Haniel Sabti will take the pole. We have got Siggy on a lap, but he's currently 4 tenths down. And everyone else seems to have finished their lap. So I'm just going to watch Siggy finish his lap. So we got Lewis McGlade now actually watching us. Hello and good evening to yourself. I hope you're doing well, and we're just watching the action here this evening here at Istanbul Park. And Siggy does actually indeed pull into the pits. But if you've got any questions or comments or general views, you know, feel free to put any comments in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer them as best as I can, you could say. So there is the session ended there. So we go into now into it looks like we're going straight into the race.
Yeah, we're going for a short commercial break, and we'll be back with the race very
Gigabit Internet issa f'Malta. Gawdi mill-Giga Power biss mal-Melita Flexi.
And we're back. We're to this final round of the Continental Cars Limited Porsche 911 GT3 Championship. 45 seconds away from the start of this 1 hour race here at the Intercity Istanbul racetrack. Actually, the racetrack where the winner of this series will be going and having the experience with the real Porsches on this great track to watch. Together with us, for those that have joined us now today, we have Dave Carter, who's our commentator of the day. On to you, David, now, when very soon we see the lights going on and out for the start of this race.
Thank you very much, Adrian. It is a pleasure to watch and witness what happens here. We've got 5 seconds here to go. The lights are on. And away they go as they go off the track there. As let's have a look, see what is going on here. We've got Siggy, who takes the lead here into turn 1. A great start here. He beats the pole man, Hani Al Sabdi, as he gets a good run out there as well. So a clear leader at the minute is Kevin Siggy. It's a great start there. Let's have a look behind. We've got Al Sabdi there in second place. We've got Capet there in third, as he runs a little down in fourth. There he goes. He's actually down in fourth as he's looking to make the move there on third. We've got Vela in third at the moment, but he runs a little bit wide. There's Capet there trying to get down the inside. I've got Schleifer there in fifth there as well, but there Risto Capet, but they're in but there's Siggy there getting a great start there, Adrian, there getting the jump out, Subtin taking the lead.
Definitely, Kevin Siggy had a great start, taking the lead on Hani Al Sabti. So thumbs up to Kevin for the start of this.
He's had a great start there. There's a good battle there behind as well. We've got Capet there and Schleifer there and as well, and P5 there as well. The two teammates getting very, very close to each other there for ACR. I say they're looking back at the front now as a battle for P1 as you got Al Sabdi there now, trying to get into the slipstream there of Kevin Siggy. Now the slipstream here is pretty powerful down the straight here, but I say it looks like to me he hasn't quite got the run down the straight. He's getting a little bit closer, but I say not getting the full effect there of the draft. So Siggy, it looks like he's going to get the going to hold the lead here on this first lap of this 1 hour race here this evening. As I've just noticed there, Arnold Batowski there is watching us. Hello and welcome to you. It's a pleasure to have you here. Obviously, owner of iSimRS.com simulators out there, so it's a pleasure to have you here watching us this evening. So we got, as we cross the line, we've got Siggy there in first, Al Sabdi in second. He's behind there by about 0.8 of a second. We've got Vela in third, Capet right behind him fourth, and Schleifer there in P5 with Barbara there in P6, dropping back a little bit from the start. But a great start there, Adrian. There, it's a pleasure to see such a. Obviously, only got 6 cars here today, but a nice clean start. That's the thing. We've lost Adrian there, unfortunately, there. But I say we've got. We'll carry on as it goes. There's Siggy in the lead there from Al Sabdi. But I say I'm going to watch this battle here for now between third, fourth, and fifth. We've got Vela and Capet from Schleifer there as well. Just for those guys who are watching this who are not quite sure, it's a 1 hour race. And between the 45-minute mark and the 30-minute mark, so say 12 and 27 minutes here from now, they have to make a mandatory pit stop. So it's a 1 hour race with a mandatory pit stop between when you'll see on your clock on the at home 45 minutes and 30 minutes to go. There will be a mandatory pit stop by all these cars. Probably take a set of tyres and a touch of fuel, and he'll be back up there once again. So I've just noticed Schleifer there running incredibly worried out of the chicane there. He's dropped back now behind both ACR cars of Capet and Vela. Actually, apologies, not both ACR cars. He is an ACR car, but behind Capet and behind Vela. And the 2 cars in front there still the same order, with Siggy leading Al Sabdi. Al Sabdi just needs to stay where he is though at the moment, and he will be crowned champion. But obviously a long, long way to go here. 56 minutes of the race still to go.
Yeah, that's very right. Still a long way to go. We'll see also what pit strategies the drivers will adopt. We've seen past races that following pits, some positions do change, so it's important that all drivers have set their strategy well, and we'll see that on the 45th minute, when there is 45 minutes left in this race, that is in approximately 10 minutes time.
We'll be waiting to see who jumps in first and tries to set the start the pendulum effect going on track. Al Sabdi now is getting nice and close to the back of Siggy. The gap's staying about half a second there. So he's definitely in the range of getting a nice slipstream, at least down these longer straights at least. And then we got Capit behind Vela as well, about the same distance between those two. So they're the two battles we're going to be really focusing on at the moment. So he's Schaefer and Barbara. They're tailing off a little bit at the back. But here's the battle for the lead. As we look at Siggy and El Sabdi. Going through that wonderful turn 8 corner there. I'm going to go on board now with Hani El Sabdi. Goes out of turn 8 underneath the Vodafone advertising board there. As he goes brakes into turn 9 and 10. It's lovely left-right chicane. Turn 9, turn 10. Now on a set of course as well, this game looks really, really nice. This racetrack as well as the cars, they sound glorious as well. With their flat sixes chiming away there at 8,500 RPM as they go to about 165 miles an hour down this straight, or about 265 kilometers an hour as they brake before the heavy braking point here towards the end of this lap. This left, right, left complex here. Ziggy not putting a foot wrong so far, but Al Sabdi just shadowing every move as it stands. As goes across the line here to start. Well, they've just finished their third lap here, so we're now on lap number 4. I say the gap there between saying the same Vela and Capit also nice and close behind for third and fourth places here. As they go through turn 1 once again, the other two behind. Schleifer and Barbara still dropping it back a little bit, but still all 6 cars here still running this, still race after 7 minutes of action. So now we've got Sabti getting nice and close now to the back of Kevin Siggy. Going through turns 6 and now turn 5 and now turn 6. As it looks like Siggy's just managed to recover a little bit of the gap there. Obviously, Kevin Siggy, well known in the sim racing world, has been a very, very quality driver. Just won a massive event in Germany for race room event. In the event they had there, beating the likes of Jack Keithley, for example, and say two very, very well respected names in the world of sim racing. So it's a pleasure having them on the circuit.
You can see also now that we had that almost side by side from Risto and Bernard Vella, but Bernard defended well and he managed to keep his position, but definitely a nice battle between them going on.
Oh, for sure. It's going to be tricky for keep our eyes on both of these battles because they're both very close. As well as they're going on to the back straight here for the 4th time this evening. These Porsches are, again, wonderful to listen to, wonderful to watch. As they're a very, very popular series in the world. As we now got Risto Capit all over the back now with Vela, right in the slipstream. He's going to be able to pull out. He's on the outside. So into this heavy braking point here at the end of the lap. I said it's going to be the place for overtake. And it looks like Capit's trying to go around the outside there of Vela, but Vela looks like he's just about defended as Capit mounts the curb. So into the out of the final corner there. And Capit, again, has got a great run out of it, but looks a bit side by side to go into turn 1. The end of another lap. As the cars ahead, they're still line of stern. But Capit's trying to go around the outside there. Vela defending nicely. Capit is trying to get the switchback move out the corner. Let's go out of turns 1 and 2 again around this wonderful Istanbul Park circuit. And Capit again trying to get the overlap around the outside. Now, great bit of racing between these two. Oh, and he's run wide. He's run wide, Risto Capit there. I don't know what's happened there, but it looked like Capit just ran wide out of the corner there, and he's lost time now to Vela. He's now got his teammate Schleifer now right behind him in the other ACR car. So it's a shame there for Capit. That little mistake has cost him quite a bit of time.
Yeah, sure. For what we have seen here, obviously it was a mistake by Capit that made him actually, as you well said, lose time, and obviously Bernard took the advantage on that and obviously increased his gap now to approximately 1.5 seconds.
So we don't have any replays, unfortunately, so we can't see what's happened in the past, so we can't really analyse too much of what's happened there. But from what we saw with the camera point we had, it looked like Capit just ran wide and gone to the grass and made a mistake there. So we say we can have a look after the race and see what happens there. But as for now, we say that we just ran wide trying to pass Vela there, but he's recovered well. He's pulled away from his teammate a little bit there. And now looking to get back the magnets on and trying to close up, back up to Vela once again. So back at the front, we're just ending the fifth lap by the end of it here. But it looks things here. Siggy's still ahead of Al-Sabti by about the same gap now. We're approaching about 5 minutes or so before the pit window opens. Obviously, it's going to be quite early to do that. But so if you're Al-Sabti, you're in Kevin Siggy's dirty air here, Adrian. Do you think that Al-Sabti's going to be pitting first here?
Possibly he could go for the strategy, but we'll see, because we also saw sometimes that Hani Asapti remained out, but he sometimes also opted to be amongst the first to go to the pits. So it all depends now, and the pit window is open. Then they have 15 minutes, so we'll see if he will be up close to Siggy or not by then, or he'll be running in dirty air of Siggy. So we'll see until like in 4.5 minutes time what's going to be the position and the strategy Hani Asapti will adopt.
We'll soon find out, I guess. As I say, Risto Capit already has got onto the back of Bernard Vela here. As I say, the gap's now about half a second between them. So yeah, into turn 8 once again. As I say, gets a bit wide there, Cap, actually, in entry. But as I say, looks like he's managed to get it all together again. Go out of turn 8 once again there, and we go onto the AstroTurf underneath the Vodafone Bridge there. Let's go into the chicane once again. And here we go, braking very hard. As I'm going to go on board now with Risto Capit. Gap ahead, the battle ahead, the gap's about 0.8 of a second, so we're going to go on board this battle here with Risto Capit for P4. I'm riding on board with Risto, and it's not really taking advantage of the slipstream opportunity here as they go up towards the braking point. Looks like Bernard's going to keep his position for now. Indeed he does. He gets quite a bit wide there actually, but he manages to regain composure and makes the corner. As we go into again the final corner once again. Start the 8th lap of this race as they come across the line. So we've got Schleifer just about keeping tabs at the battle, and then we've got Barbara just going through the final corner there. But as I say, Siggy and Al-Sabti, the gap there about 0.8 of a second between them. And then we've got Vela and Capet between about 0.4 of a second between those two guys. We're 1/5 through this race already. We're looking through these two battles here. Now, obviously, championship implications obviously will mean at the minute that Hani Al-Sabti would win the title. For Siggy to get any chance of basically winning the championship, he needs to finish in the top 2, and for Al-Sabti to basically DNF from this race early on. But I'll say the longer that Al-Sabti keeps on the road and keeps on the island and keeps pounding the laps around, the less likely that is going to happen. You've got to fancy Al-Sabti to win this championship. Even before the event started. I'd say, look, and they're all looking really composed out, all these drivers at the moment. We've got Capit again as we go through out of turn 8, but battle here for P3. Capit again all over the back here off Bernard Vela. So into the chicane once again now. What sort of run? It looks like Capit's got a great run out of there, and he's going to be all over the back of Bernard Vela here as he pulls out from the slipstream, and it looks like Capit might even get the move done here before the corner's done, and he's got his nose ahead. Now can he manage to move across and defend, or will Vela try and defend his position originally? Capit's ahead as they go into the corner. Vela makes a bit of a lunge side by side as they go into this complex. Through the left, through the right, and through the left again. And it looks like Capit might just about have the position here as they go deep into the corner. Vela defends. Capit's trying to go around outside. And it can be side by side again. Again, fabulous racing from these two here, as they've been side by side a few times now. As they go into the corner, Vela breaks very, very late into the corner. Gets a bit deep. And Capit's going to have the run around the outside again. Yeah, side by side. I'll tell you what, these two here, Adrian, they've had a great scrap, haven't they, so far? I think we've lost Adrian there again, but Capit has made the move. Looks like he's made the move there on Bernard Vela. It's now that position has As stuck as my cameras have not quite updated, but there it goes. So Capet there into that third position. And now looks like he's pulling away just a touch there from Bernard Völler. The gap at the front between Al Sabdi and Kevin Siggy, 6/10 here, 6/10 of a second here. That's going through turn 8 now. Well, the other three of Siggy, Völler, and Schleifer, they've all dropped back a little bit from the front two now. As Barbara again dropped back even more so. About 14 seconds off the battle for fifth. But I say he's doing his own race, he's still pounding the laps in, and at the end of the day, he still finished P6. That's still a very respectable amount of points from the end of the race, and it helps that in your championship standings as well. So 0.5 of a second, or about 0.6 of a second between Siggy and El Sub.
So actually, you will also see that now the pit window is open. It's been open for like 20 seconds already. So we'll see now the strategies the front runners will adopt in this pit window. Will be pitting first, and what will be the result after the pitting of all the cars.
We'll soon see, because none of the guys have, so the first opportunity these guys have had for pitting, they've got about 7 laps to do it in. They can pit within a 7 or 8 lap window, because it's just under 2 minutes here a lap. So they've got around 7 laps to actually make that opportunity and make that pit. And it's going to be about 31 or 32 laps this race, so a long way to go. But look at that, El Sabdi now all over the back now of Kevin Siggy. So it's a great job here, great battle at the front as well as behind, of course. This is now the closest battle on the racetrack. As El Sabdi runs a little wide out of there. You got Siggy there maintaining that position, and El Sabdi still trying to maintain the pressure. As they're looking at us, obviously now they're all in the pit window now. As El Sabdi runs wide onto the AstroTurf there. But getting the move, getting into the corner and looking like he's recomposed himself, but dropped back a tiny bit from Siggy. But it looks like he's going out of turn 8 now and still trying to close up onto the back here of Kevin Siggy. That's it. The battle further back, it looks like Capet has pulled away a little bit from Völler. He's pulled a little bit away from Schleifer. So it's this battle at the front of the field between first and second, the most interesting one at the moment. So these Porsches do sound glorious, don't they, on this racetrack? They said that howl, that flat 6 howl they've always had, over the years. They've always maintained that sort of same distinctive howl noise. It is fabulous to listen to. Provides such a great spectacle here as well. The front two does not pit, so Siggy and El Sabdi going around again. Just keep an eye on these guys further behind as well. Looks like they're all going to carry on for another lap, as well as Barbara as well. It's a bit further back, he's just going into the final section of corners now. About 12 seconds off the guys at the front of the field of the next pack. So Siggy, still there at the front with El Sabdi. Again, no real change has happened since that move between Capet and Völler. They've gapped out a little bit now, so it's going to be these two we're going to look at for now. It's going to be a case of when these guys do manage to pit, or if they pit at the same time. We just don't know as it stands. But the only thing El Sabdi is going to worry about is the fact that he's still in second. He's in line to win this championship. So as long as he just literally follows Siggy's rear bumper, or even makes a mistake potentially and drops back a little bit, he'll still get the points. It'd be 20 points to a win, of course. 18 for second, 16 for third. Fourth will get 14 points, fifth will get 12 points, and sixth place will get 10 points in this race. So still a decent amount of points for every driver who's taken part this season, because I think at the start of the season they had points all the way down 20, if I believe. So it's been a respectable championship. That's still a respectable amount of points to take from this round. Gaps at the back. We got Schleifer now actually getting close now to Völler. A bit further back, about for fourth, spicing up a little bit now. So we're still looking at this battle here at the front and see whether these guys pit. As we've got now Adrian Faber and Craig Patterson watching the stream now. Hello guys, good evening. I hope you're keeping well. So we've got a nice tasty battle, a nice quality battle. We haven't got the quantity necessarily, but we have got good quality. We've got Siggy, we've got El Sabdi, Capet, Völler, Schleifer and Barbara in this race today, and they've done a stunning job. Obviously, the final round of the championship this evening here at Istanbul Park, and the winner of the championship will get a very, very good prize. You know, a trip to Istanbul circuit to get the full Porsche experience package with over €3,000 in total. So it's a very, very important prize for these guys to fight for, as well as pride, of course, if they don't actually get the championship. But you know, it's fantastic battling at the moment, as Capet is now gapped between Vela and Schleifer behind, and he's trying to now hunt down the battle between El Sabdi and Siggy. But the gap is 8 seconds. It's going to be it's going to be a struggle between to get there.
You're very right. Would like also to say hello to our viewers on YouTube and Twitch, because we're live also on YouTube and Twitch, and we invite all those people to follow us on all our channels, that is Facebook, Twitch and YouTube.
Hello and evening to those viewers as well. I've got the Facebook stream up, so I know who's coming up on the Facebook, but hello to all the viewers who are watching at home, wherever you are in the world. Hello and welcome. I hope you're having a great day so far, and I hope you're enjoying the race we are having so far. We're 1/3 through this race. Pit window is open for another 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Let's say the battling as well. Nice and close. In about here for P4 and 5, we've got Vela and Schleifer there as well. Them two getting nice and close and cozy between each other, you could say, at this stage. And they're coming down the back straight once again. At the bottom of the straight, we've got Siggy and El Sabti still battling on. And will they pit this time around? You know, we've got 8 minutes to make, another 9 minutes to make their pit stop. They do not come in at the minute. So they're going to go out again one more time. So as they cross the line once again into the braking zone to turn 1 between Siggy and El Sabti. They go around and they actually go very wide out of turn 2 there as well. They use all the track and a bit more as well. You know, try and get a bit of rubber out there, guys. You know, then try not to cut the track too much. So they've done a good thing is they've been nice and clean so far, which is the main thing. As we got the first pit stop of the race, got Omar Barbara. He is in the pits and he's making his mandatory pit stop, so he's trying to potentially capitalise here, maybe on events happening around him. So he's in his pit box now. In and out. There we go, straight back out again. 50 miles an hour down the pit limiter here in the pit lane, or 80 kilometers an hour. He's going to dump the throttle and out of the pit lane he goes. You know, sucking gear and out of the pits he goes. So a very, very quick pit stop here. It's literally just an in and out pretty much there. We're just watching the guys now back at the front of the field. Gaps out a little bit. It's 0.7 of a second between Siggy and El Sabti, but again, very, very consistent, these guys. No mistakes being made whatsoever. Of course, they're used to very, very all sorts of car, you know, touring cars, sports cars, single seaters. They've done, you name it, they've done it. That is for sure. So Barbara there rejoins the race, about 40 seconds behind the battle there for 4th and 5th between Vela and Schleifer. As they come round once again here to end their 12th lap. Again, they do not pit. They do not pit again. Go around one more time. Let's look at if any others pit. We'll say Capit doesn't pit. It looks like he's going out a little bit more. These two as well, between Vela and Schleifer, they carry on. You've got Barbara there, a bit further back down the field there, of course. You know, he's just, as I say, just come out the pits. This is his first lap at the pit. He's going to be a bit further back from everyone else. Again, Siggy's got this sort of comfortable gap, you know, of 1 second. So he's doing a very good job of keeping El Sabti behind. Of course, he's only won one race this year, as Kevin Siggy. Considering though that El Sabti's won 6 out of the previous 7 events, though, he's been a very dominant championship here for El Sabti. So for Siggy to get 1 and possibly 2 here will be a great achievement in that regard. As we go through again, turn 8. Doing a nice job there of pretty much hitting every apex, and to do this for an hour is a very, very tough job. You know, hitting every apex, hardly not making a mistake. I know I struggle to get this car around here. My skills are not what they used to be, that is for sure. That's why I'm now in the commentary booth talking about it rather than actually doing it. You know, it's probably safer in that regard for everyone in that respect, you could say. And having a great time watching these cars just pound around the track as quick as they can. We've got another pit stop by the looks of it. Oh no, that's no pit stop. I do apologise. It was just actually me in the pits, not anyone else. So apologies for that. I'm just flicking through the cameras a bit too vigorously there. We've got Siggy and Al Sabti coming around again. Looks like they're both going to come around once again. I'm just looking a bit further back here. Vella's still ahead of Schleifer here for 4th and 5th. There's still a line of stern like happened for a while now. And again, Vella and Schleifer there, 4th and 5th. They're still carrying on as well. So no real moves have happened for a while. Not since the pit stop of Barbara and the move that Capet put on Vella earlier on. Looks like that Vella maybe potentially suffering a bit of tyre wear, you know, because he was keeping up with Capet for a while. He stayed ahead of him for a while, but ever since he's got past by Capet, Capet's just put his foot down and just carried on and pulled up the road about 4 or 5 seconds now. So it's not been great. But Capet now putting his foot down, and he hasn't really made any inroads at all on the leader's head. He's kind of in his own race almost at the minute. You know, he's not closing up to the goal, but he's pulling away from the cars behind. So he's sort of in his own race and just on that podium position at the Risto Capet in an ACR car of his. Of course, he's just been very. Yesterday evening, he won a team's championship for ACR at a GPWC WTF1 Super League as well. So a great achievement from him and Alex Siebel and the team of ACR. Done a fabulous job all year in that series, and it looks like they've done a respectable job here as well. Obviously, they do race in a lot of different sims, a lot of different leagues, including this one as well. To see ACR's name in this series is a great to have around a series like this. So pleasure to see him, as well as all the drivers taking part this evening. I hope they have a good fun race out there. Back at the front, nearly halfway through this race now, 33 minutes still to go. And here we go, Siggy in the pits, and so's Al Sabti. So Al Sabti reacts now. What's going to happen in this pit stop now? We're just going to take a look. I'm riding on board with Hani Al Sabti as he's in his pit box. And he misses his pit box, Al Sabti. He's had to reverse. He's had to reverse in his pit box. It's a disaster for Al Sabti. He's cost a lot of time. And he can't get in his pit box by the looks of it. It looks like he's missed his pit box, but he gets away. But he's lost a huge amount of time. As a result, Siggy's leaving the pits. As we stand now, he's been passed there by another car there at the pit. Looks like Risto Capet's carried on. But what a disaster there for Hani Al Sabti there, Adrian there. You know, Al Sabti completely missing his pit box.
Yeah, definitely not a good thing for Hani, but as we said, such things do happen. It's not normal from Hani, but unfortunately it happened to him, so definitely he's gonna suffer.
Yeah, he's lost a huge amount of time there as well. I'd say he's probably lost, I could be wrong, 8 seconds or so. He's lost a lot of time there, so it's unfortunate for him. I'd say he's going to be looking to make that time back up again, but I'd say as it stands, Risto Capet, of course, not made his pit stop yet. He's probably going to have to do it this time around. He might, yeah, he'll have to do it this time around, because obviously the time will go over under 30 minutes then. So Capet taking his, you could say, his lap of glory here, and do his pit stop at the end of his lap, but he leads the race for now at least. It's Siggy behind him, Vella as well, not making his stop yet, as well as Schleifer. It's going to be a very busy pit lane this time around. And now Sabti recovering from the mistake he had just now in P5. Comes down the straight once again. Risto Capet will pit in this time around. You would have thought. Got to do it this time, otherwise he would get a penalty. But here he comes into the pits. So let's see if he gets a nice clean pit stop. Siggy carries on. We've got this battle here. We're actually going to keep an eye on this battle in the pit. Vella there and Schleifer third and fourth. Well, he was battling fourth and fifth on the circuit. Here they come into the pit. Comes down pit road now at 50 miles an hour. Vela comes up to his pit box nicely and leaves straight away as well. So a very smooth pit stop there from Vela. As well as Schleifer, he's lost a little bit of time in the pits. Let's be honest, probably lost a second or two there. Carries on regardless. As you also got Risto Capit. Actually, yeah, Risto's lost a huge amount of time in his pit box. What's happened to Risto Capit here? He's obviously had a problem in the pits because he come in well ahead of the guys ahead. And now he's almost like he's made a full pit stop almost there. And has now come out well down the field, down in P5. So a disaster for him. And he's got a lot of ground to make up now. He's lost a huge amount of time. So both Al Sabti there and Risto Capit having problems over the pits, as you can see. We're now under 30 minutes ago. We're more than halfway now in this race. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the order. Kevin Sickie leads this race up to the pit stops. You know, he's had a close battle for Al Sabti all race until the pit stops. Now he's got a big 8-second gap now to Hani Al Sabti, who's running in second place. Bernard Vella there in third position. He's now gapped up a little bit there from Richard Schleifer after the pit. Risto Capit back down in fifth position. Obviously, he's had a problem in his pit stop. We don't know what happened exactly. I say P5 for Risto Capit. And still telling the order at the back of the 6-car field. We've got Omar Barbara in P6. In a beautiful looking livery, actually, I've got to say. I'd really do admire looking at that car. It's a fabulous job. Whoever's done that paint job, they should be really happy with that, because that is a stunning looking paint. I really like the shade of blue they've used on that car. Like a two-tone blue effect. Really nice car with those lovely sort of cherry red rims as well on the car, and the mirrors and the detail. It looks a really, really nice livery, that design, so I really like that one.
Justin is just telling you thank you because it was actually his job doing that livery.
No worries, Justin. It's fabulous. All liveries are really good, but that's my particular favourite, I must admit. That particular car looks really, really nice. So 2 thumbs up for you, Justin. Fabulous looking, and just shame it's not closer in the up in the field, really. But you know, it's a lovely livery nonetheless. Of course, running in P3 as well is Bernard Vella using the same livery. So both third and fifth, obviously in the same team, and you got both ACR cars there running fourth and in fifth. But the gap coming down a little bit now between Sickie and Al Sabti. Well, at least it was. It was about 7 seconds now, but that's at least the corner. It's around about 10, so the gap sort of not a consistent one. That's, obviously, the timing affects the gap a little bit, but you would say it's still around that 8-second mark. Vella, Schleifer, and Risto Capit and Barbara there running up to 6, but everyone's now gapped up a little bit as Sickie makes a little bit of an error there into turn 9. This goes out of the corner there. Not too much harm done. As Al Sabti hits that apex nicely out the corner, following him through. There's Sickie now. Really, really nicely out in front. Got the track all to himself. Just pound these laps in until the end of the race. And he's just looking so smooth today. Not put a foot wrong all race. He's battled hard with Al Sabti. He's managed to get ahead of him through the pit stops. Actually, no, he's led the whole race. Of course, Al Sabti just followed him pretty much. I apologise. He's took the lead from the start. And he's led every lap so far. He's just completed his 17th lap. He's out to his 18th lap now. With just under 27 minutes here to go. So 6 cars now all really spread out. I mean, the closest battle is this battle here for third between Vella and Schleifer here for third and fourth. The gap's 1.5 seconds between them. I think this is that we're going to keep an eye out for now. Between these two as they go through turn 1 and up towards the back end of this circuit here. For the 18th time. So they've all done really well, these drivers. They've kept it all clean. There's been no incidents whatsoever on the track, obviously apart from Capit going off a bit earlier on, but he recovered it nicely and he lost about a second in that particular move. He tried to put on Bernard Vella. He recovered nicely. It's just a shame through pit stops. He lost quite a bit of time. But now out there, trying to get the gap down between himself and Schaefer now, as Capit now runs that P5. I think it'd be a good opportunity now to actually discuss what's actually going on. You know, as the race is now quieting down a little bit. I'll keep an eye on what's going on, but I think it'd be a good time now to discuss what's going on in the future series coming up. Obviously, the Grip series is coming up now, isn't it? And it's a very exciting turn of events if that happens. You know, when that series comes along.
Yeah, sure. As we said earlier, this coming weekend, we should tell our viewers and followers to keep an eye out on us, as we have a special event with the real drivers from the Grip Championship, where they will be taking on simulators and doing a race this weekend. There's a practice session on Saturday and qualifications and race on Sunday. Interestingly enough, also the points from this virtual race will be added to their championship points. So that's something new and exciting to watch. This will lead also to the real, to the virtual G1, the G1 Virtual Grip Championship that will be launching very soon. All the details actually will be launched very soon. And again, the winner of this championship will win a full experience, a full day experience, full testing day in Italy with the Grip car. So we'll be with all the crew in the pits with him for this great experience for the winner of this coming championship. Also, definitely more races and championships and events will be published accordingly for 2019. We have a quite planned quite busy year for 2019 with a lot of races, championships, and special events. So it's good that our followers keep an eye on us and watch out our spaces in Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, together with our website at World Pro Racing for these upcoming events. It's good to thank the sponsors of this championship today, the final round of the Porsche 911 GT3 championship, brought to you by Continental Cars Limited. Would like also to personally thank Sandro and Joanne for also supporting us, believing in us for this first championship by World Pro Racing. Would like to thank Melita for powering our stream, GT Omega Racing, Textor, SimNews.tv, and also Gaming Malta.
I say those sponsors doing a top job to help keep this series running, you know, and all the hard work between yourself there and Justin Mifsud as well, and everyone behind the scenes as well, doing a fantastic job to keep this quality racing going, you know, and I hope this has a very bright future. It sounds like it's going to have a bright future, at least, you know, with the series that are coming up, particularly the Grip series. It's going to be really, really good to watch. And I hope it has a bright future and many, many great races here to come. But obviously, for now, 22 minutes here to go. It's a flat-out, almost sprint now till the flag, because obviously no more pit stops for the people to do. And so still got all 6 cars racing in this race. Siggy still out the front there by about 10 seconds, give or take, from Halil Sabti. So we've got about a similar gap back to Bernard Vella in P3, and you've still got Richard Schleifer there, all over the back of him, pretty much about 1.5 seconds behind him. Now got Risto Capit. He's not really doing the gains I would have thought. He's not really closing up to the back of those two, Risto. He's in P5. Now we've got Omar Barbara at the back of the field, still pounding round, still doing his best. In P6. He's not really challenged anyone in this race. But he's still very respectable that he's keep going around and, you know, pick 10 points at the end of this race, so it's a great effort from him and everyone involved. Keep going around and keep putting these consistent tracks, because no one's really made a mistake yet. You know, it's a 1 hour race, you know, it's a long race. It's very easy to do so. Keep your concentration levels up for the whole race. Keep an eye on everything. And a track like Istanbul as well, which is not the easiest track by any means. You know, it's a very nice track to drive, I find, but it's still one that bites. Can easily bite you if you lose concentration and run a bit wide out of these corners and make a mistake. It's the gap now between Schleifer and Vella's closed right up now. The gap's about 6-7 tenths of a second now. So it's going to be a good battle here to watch. These two now power around the track for the next 20 minutes or so, because they have been glued together for basically the whole race so far. Gap now 0.7 of a second between these two. Let's come up the hill once again, up to turns 3, 4, 5, and 6. Here we go through 4, 5. There comes turn 6 now. Bottom of the hill to decline out of the corner. Track just goes down on you there completely. You know, it's a really nice run downhill. We pick up a lot of speed, up to 140 miles an hour down there. Let's go into this right-hander. And out of the corner again. You see, it's interesting what sort of lines they're taking actually through there. You know, Vella keeping to the right and the Yacht Schleifer here keeping to the left of the track. So it is interesting to see what lines they do take through these corners. Let's go out to the back straight. You got Vella there running very wide out of there, reaching all the track and more. So right into this chicane here, the left and the right. Vella kind of missing the apex a little bit there. Come out onto the back straight now. Schleifer has got the run with a slipstream, about 6 tenths behind. So into the right hand kink, yet again under the DHL bridge there, down the straight once again. But Schleifer not really gaining, unfortunately, even in that slipstream. So into this final complex once again, the left, the right, and then the left once again. Let's keep the right there, trying to get a good run out of this corner to start your lap and really sort of catapult out of that last corner. Let's go onto the straight once again. It's battle for third and fourth. Still really, really close. I say everyone else is a bit more spread out with 18 minutes here still to go. 18 minutes and 40 seconds to be precise. Go out of turns 1 and 2 once again for the 22nd time. They're doing a fabulous job as well to keep these cars on the island as well. And the car's looking fabulous as well on this circuit. Using a set of course for this championship. And a game that's getting increasingly bigger reputation. You know, you've got all sort of different sims out there. But I say a set of courses still maintain very, very good levels of population and people using this game. This game looks absolutely beautiful, doesn't it? There's so much realism involved. But going back on more on topic, got Schleifer now all over the back now of Vella. Let's go into turn 8 once again. He's closed the gap right down. Let's go into turn 8. It's important here for Schleifer to get a good run out of the corner. It looks like Vella's regained a little bit there. As he goes downhill once again.
So Dave, it's good also to mention that in the very near future we'll be also using other platforms for various races and special events and championships we'll be doing. So we won't be only sticking to Assetto Corsa, but we'll be spreading also to other platforms. Obviously enough to reach more community and give also great experiences to more sim racers that obviously use other platforms other than Assetto Corsa.
It'd be really good to sort of expand and sort of get as many people on board as possible with the World Pro Racing here series. You know, it's fantastic organisation, really, really professionally run. It's got some top sponsors on board, some top people race on the racetrack. And of course, if you want to join, you just visit World Pro Racing's website, either through their Facebook page or directly onto their website. See what they're all about. I've had a quick look. It looks really, really exciting. Racing that's going on, and I'll say the future looks very bright here for World Pro Racing, its drivers, teams, and sponsors alike as well. Battling on the circuit though, we still got Schleifer all over the back here of Vella for this P3. Looking really, really close now. Schleifer's trying to get a good run out of there, which he does do. Just loses a little bit of traction now on the exit though, but he's still thereabouts. On the back there of Vella, as I say, taking different lines into here and take different lines out to the corner as well. You'll see Vella go more to the right and Schleifer stick more dead to the left hand side, getting different lines, different runs out of the corner. Go through to turn 8 here. Once again, other cars on the track, they've not really developed into anything as far as the battles are concerned. You've got Siggy now Sapti about 9 seconds apart. And then a further 10 seconds back to this battle between Vela and Schaefer. These two cars about a second apart. And you got Risto Capet now about 13 or 14 seconds back to these cars. You know, I'll expect a Cap to get closer to these two for sure. You know, it's just not been the performance since that pit stop. He's just not really put his foot down and delivered the car as much as I expected. Just shows there the quality this field has. You know, every driver is still a very, very good standard, very, very safe on, and most importantly, very, very fast as well. I say no one really making any inroads on each other as it stands. You know, everyone's sort of about the same. As we've got 15 minutes of this race left to go, so we're 3/4 of this race done. 50 minutes left to go here. We got there Schleifler and Vela still about 1 second apart as it stands. And on our 24th lap here now, so we'll get to about lap 32 or so before this race finishes. I say Siggy taking it nice and easy. Now at the front, he's done a fast lap there of a 55.8, which is not too far off the pole position because it was a 55.0 it was for the pole. So they've all done some very, very competitive lap times here today. You know, race pace being as strong as their qualifying pace as well, so it's really, really good to see. As I'm just watching now, Ziggy coming down onto that back straight once again. But the battle here for P3 still looking really, really good. About 8/10 of a second, give or take. It's going to be a real battle of attrition here, and see, you know, obviously these closing stages is going to be really, really interesting to see if these cars can still keep it clean, nice and close as well, and see whether they can keep hold to the Vela can keep hold to this podium position, or whether Schleif can overtake him in the later stages. As they come down the back straight here once again. Breaking on that curve there into this very, very difficult corner. So go to 100 and they're braking to about 50 miles an hour as well. So, you know, very, very difficult braking. So obviously downhill as well. I'm surprised more people make mistakes down there, but obviously these guys get plenty of practice. And Schleifer closed the gap down now half a second. So that it's going sort of backwards and forwards. This battle here sort of never getting any more than a second. It can get as close as it has been as close as a couple of tenths though. So it's really, really tense stuff between these two, and I hope they just keep battling well to the end of this race, as we're now approaching 12 minutes to go. It's about 80% of the race distance now, so not too long to go at all. It looks like as well that could be wrong. Yeah, it's just the way the timing works. I was going to say Safdie was closing out because it was at 6.6 seconds, but it's just the gap between himself and Siggy, but the gap changes depending on what corner they're on, and the track. It's not 100% accurate. It's difficult to gauge a proper gap between these two, but it looks like it's sort of fairly stable between where it has been and where they are as well. But Vela and Schleifer there still battling really, really hard. Gap now about half a second between these two cars. Again, out of turn 8 once again.
It's good. It's good also to thank the drivers taking part in this championship, which actually kept on driving till the last round, even though possibly they don't have any chance for the championship or have got any podiums during the championship, but they still kept on going till the end. This is the spirit of sim racers want to look at, obviously enough. That's the spirit of starting a championship, finishing the championship, no matter what position you're in, because obviously it's also gaining of experience, and even driving with such level of drivers, it will give you much more experience and training also for your future event.
Absolutely, it's a credit to everyone who's taken part in this championship, or who's all the work they do behind the scenes as well, not only on the racetrack like you see now, but also all the setup that they do and all the practice they put in as well, which a lot of people don't realise how much practice people put in for these championships as well. It's a pleasure to see them do that, and to turn to every event as well, or most events at least. It's a pleasure to see that commitment that these drivers have, even if they feel like they've got not much chance of winning in the first place, or getting a podium, as you say. It's a pleasure to see him turn up and do this for fun, which is the main thing. Have fun when you're racing, that's the important thing. Yes, there might be big prizes on offer, which gets everyone very competitive, but the main thing is to have fun while you're doing it as well. It's a big part of the sim racing community. As the racing, you find, gets more and more serious, people seem to get more competitive and more on, possibly, but I say the fun element should always be there for these drivers. As we've seen this battle still, like for example, like with Vela and Schleifer here as well, they're having a great time out here, battling all race long. As we go into the final 10 minutes now of this race, 1/6 of the race here to go, and they're still battling it out. Gap half a second now. Schleifer now in the slipstream of Vela, and not really capitalising on it at the minute. Not really closing in. I would have thought it'd been getting closer and closer. It's not the smallest gap in the world, that's for sure. Not the biggest gap. So not been able to close in, which is a bit unfortunate, really. Go through these complex of corners once again. Vela getting a good drive out of there. Schleifer not so good. And we're across the line once again here to start their 27th lap of this race. So Siggy up front, though, just to recap, it's Siggy from El Sabdi, from Vela, from Schleifer, from Capit, from Barbara there as well. And just say once again, thanks to everyone who's been watching this either through YouTube, through Facebook, or our Twitch stream. I say hello and welcome to you all at this stage. You say it's been a really, really good event. Not the biggest, as you can quite clearly see, but the quality's been there. Everyone's putting in a very good show. Say very good standard of racing here at World Pro Racing, and long may it continue as well. So we're going to the final 8 minutes and 18 seconds here of racing. Gap. So it's Siggy at front. He's ahead for about 10 seconds from El Sabti, and you got Bernard Vela from Richard Schleifer there, third and fourth, from Risto Capit in fifth, and Omar Barbera rounding up the 6 drivers here this evening. The battle still rages on here between Vela and Schleifer. Still carrying on here nicely, as I've noticed there, Vela actually misses the apex there completely, almost. Out of the corner, so we lost a little bit of speed there. Schleifer trying to capitalise, so got to get in the slipstream on Vela. As he runs right into this slipstream here now. Gap's still up 0.4 of a second between these guys, and breaking into this very, very tight, almost like a hairpin, almost that corner. They're breaking very, very hard into that corner. We used to lock up there and make a mistake, but they don't do that. And look at this, Schleifer there, almost cutting the corner there down the inside. Probably not the best way to get around the corner there, Richard, but he stays behind Vela anyway. Makes a bit of an error there. But as we say, it's very, very deep under brakes there, and he always loses it. He's back off the power. Oh my goodness me, Richard there nearly loses it. He managed to regain control of the car, just about. I say it's not going to help his chances of getting that podium position nonetheless, but it's almost their job. But he did very, very well there to catch the car on the exit, and does a good job there. And he's still on the track. He's still about 2 seconds behind Bernard Vela there, as you can see. I'm saying hopefully he's going to regather momentum and try to close up to the back of Bernard Vela. We've got under 6.5 minutes of this race left remaining. Siggy there back at the front of the field. He's just done a 56.1. He's got El Sabti's just done a 55.6. So El Sabti is closing the gap. Probably not quick enough. So we've probably got a rough estimate here of 4 laps to go, I think. Just trying to do the maths in my head. I think it's to be 3 or 4 laps to go here. So Kevin Siggy, nice and comfortable, and in line here to win his second race here of the season of his 8-round calendar. Obviously, you got our subsidies won all the other 6 races here, of course. But Siggy in line here to get his second win of the season here this evening. Al Sabdi in line to win his championship here this evening and to get that big €3,000 prize of that experience in Turkey around this track around Istanbul. And he'll be he's got 5.5 minutes or so to get that prize in his hands, as well as the retrospective trophy and that title in his name, and to get that prize in his pocket. That battle between Vela and Schaefer there, 3rd and 4th. Yeah, about 2 and a bit seconds now, so it's gapped out a little bit. I think Schaefer might be just settling for 4th place here. Being his teammate, Risto Capet, they're in P5. And Omar Barbara in P6, just going down to just about to finish his 28th lap. You know, just going to the back straight one more time. He's been in the 58s pretty much for the whole event, so he's been a bit off the pace, but you know, he's still pounding round. He's still been dedicated and getting around this circuit and trying to get that all-important points finish. Siggy once again, he's done a 55.7, so he's kind of responded there to how Sabdi's 55.6, so the gap's still very, very stable. It's not really coming down at all. Vela there in the 56s. We've got Risto Capet in the 57s, which is not what I expected him to be honest. I expect to be a bit more competitive this evening. Obviously, since that pit stop, that's not helped his cause at all. I think what might have happened is, I could be wrong, but he might have actually filled up with fuel in the pit stop, because it was a very long stop. I didn't see what happened, but it might have just stayed there and filled up the tank by accident. Of course, the other people didn't fill up with fuel. They put in 1 litre, I believe, and just left. But I think Capet stayed there a long time and potentially might have filled up the tank, and that's where his lack of pace may have come from. So we've got now 3.5 minutes here to go. I calculate there 2 more laps of this race to go, and Kevin Siggy looking very, very good as he starts his 30th lap. Comes around turns 3, 4, 5 and 6. And everyone else not really in the frame here to do any sort of overtaking. You know, Chauffeur's dropped back now from Vela, so Vela's looking safe now in that 3rd position as he approaches turn 3 once again. And say Al Sabdi not really challenging or setting any lap times alight at all. He's done a 56.0. Likewise did Kevin Siggy, so the gap stayed this last time round as well. It's around about 8 seconds, 8 or 9 seconds between the 2 cars. Let's say Siggy's looking here nice and comfortable here for this race. Have you got any anything to add here, Adrian, as far as not only the race but the championship is concerned here this season?
It was a great championship, actually. Definitely an exciting championship. As you said, we had a good level of drivers. We're obviously happy with the participants that we had. Would have wished, as I said earlier also, that most of them remained till the end, not like giving up, because obviously seeing some negative results or not being in contention of the championship, that's not actually the spirit of sim racing. But definitely a great championship. It's good to mention that it was actually the first championship World Pro Racing back then, Sim Racing Malta. Now World Pro Racing had launched, so we're happy. We're like 1 minute 35 seconds away from the end of this championship. Successful championship for us. Professional championship, even from the side of the drivers. We're very happy with their behavior on track, and definitely with their professional level of driving, and we've seen some great racing from all the drivers here.
So it's been a fabulous season. I'll say, showing about, as you say, the participation and the attendance during the season. But you've had, I think, 16 drivers take part this season overall. I'll say we're on the final lap here of the race, and Kevin Siggy's now halfway around this final lap to celebrate his race victory.
Yeah, actually, we had 20 drivers in this championship. Obviously, the first championship, as I said, that we launched as Sim Racing Malta before we obviously rebranded to World Pro Racing. So, still happy with the initial take-up of this championship, which now it's coming to an end with just a couple of corners away for Kevin Siggy. So I leave it up to you now. So you'll commentate the end of this race.
So it's been an absolute pleasure commentating this evening on this race. So as Kevin Siggy now comes down the back straight for the last time here this evening. He's in a fabulous race. He got the lead from the start. Didn't get the pole position, but he did take the lead from the start from Aniel Sabti. As I say, we'll celebrate how Sabti crossing the line and getting his championship in a few moments' time. But here comes Kevin Siggy coming around the final corner to round up this championship for a race victory here this evening. As Kevin Siggy takes the checkered flag here at Istanbul Park here. That's a great result here for Siggy. But here comes Aniel Sabti to take his championship. A very well-deserved championship. 6 wins from 8 races. And takes the prize of the Porsche Experience Package. Will be at this circuit as well. It's worth about €3,000 in total. He'll have his flights, his hotels, but more importantly as well, the experience to race around this magnificent circuit in a whole array of Porsche cars as well for a whole weekend. So it's going to be a fabulous experience for him and a very, very well-deserved championship as well. He's a quality driver and a very, very well-deserved winner of this championship as well. It's been absolutely fabulous to watch him this evening as well take this championship as he comes around now back to the pits to celebrate. Bernard Vella as well takes the P3 as well. He's had a great battle with Richard Schaefer. He actually jumped straight back to the pit, so it looks like he's pitted actually on the final lap, which actually means that Risto Capir will take P4. The Schaefer actually pitted on the final lap, so that's a bit of a strange one. I think it might have been the reason I think of his fuel. So Risto Capit's actually going to take 4th position from Richard Schaefer. And Omar Barbara will come home in 6th unless Schaefer doesn't actually leave his pit box. He hasn't actually crossed the line, it looks like, by the scene. It looks like he's just jumped straight to the pits. So will Barbara here actually take this 5th place? Is going to be quite interesting actually to see whether he makes it. He's just approaching the final couple of corners. And we're seeing now as he crosses the line, it doesn't look like Schaefer's actually made it out the pit, so it looks like Barbara. Did he take that? I don't think so. I think actually just actually it looks like Schaefer did cross the line at the end. But congratulations to Kevin Siggy here for this race victory here this evening. It's been a fabulous job from him, a very, very good job from him. But also to Aniel Sabti for taking the championship here this evening. It's been a fabulous event, really, really good event, and I think it's now time to potentially do some interviews. I'm just going to leave the game as I'm now going to try and get some interviews. So first thing I'm going to do is actually congratulate our winner here this evening, Kevin Siggy. Pretty much led from start to finish, didn't take the pole position, but got into the lead into the first corner and held it from there. Kevin, a fantastic victory from yourself there, and a very, very well-deserved victory this evening.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think I just had a great initial start and then just flew off into turn 1 and overtook him. But yeah, today was a pretty boring race, but still winning is always something special. But yeah, I'm very surprised that I was faster than him. Occasionally, he is always faster than me, even though we have a difference in practice. But yeah, it's just what happened. I guess he took it easy because it was the last race and he could lose a big championship if he screwed up. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'll say you've been a very busy man yourself here, Kevin. Obviously with your victory over in Germany with the Race Stream series you took part in very recently as well. Massive congratulations for you for doing that as well. But I'd say it's your second win this season out of the 8 races, you know. Obviously, Hani winning the other 6. So, obviously, it's the first proper World Pro Racing series we've done. It's just something that you're probably looking to get into with other series potentially here at World Pro Racing?
Yeah, I think so. If they do another big championship with even better prizes for all three positions, I guess I'll keep an eye on them. And I think they have a good potential after watching their Sim Racing Expo, what's it called, presentation. And yeah, I'll just keep an eye on them. And
I'll say I'll be keep an eye on myself. Obviously, this is my first commentary this evening, so it's been a pleasure watching you guys race. You know, so I'll be keeping my eyes on this series, and obviously you drivers as well in the near future. But thank you, Kevin. That's been a pleasure. And I'll say I wish you all the best. I'll say congratulations to the win, but I wish you all the best in the future as well.
thank you very much.
And I'm just going to now introduce our champion this evening, Hani Al Sabdi. Congratulations to you for winning this massive prize as well. 6 wins during the season and 2 second places as well. Hani, you've been dominant and a very deserving winner as well. How are you feeling?
Hey, thanks. Well, I'm feeling good. Not the race I wanted, but the championship is secured, so I'm a happy man.
I can imagine. I'll be sort of jumping around the room with the prize you've just won yourself as well. Just to reiterate, you've won the Porsche Experience Package at the Istanbul circuit, which we've raced throughout this evening. You know, you get your hotels, your flights, everything paid for. You'll be looked after there and experience a wonderful array of Porsches to drive as well. I mean, it's a fabulous experience for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, the prize is really amazing. I can't wait to do this at Istanbul and also visit Turkey. I've never been there before, so it's going to be an amazing experience.
And so, just your overview, obviously, you've won 6 races this season as well. I mean, obviously, been a very, very good season for you on the whole, but how's the racing been for yourself? Obviously, you've got some very good drivers like Siggy, like Vela, like Risto Capet out there as well. You know, it's been fantastic competition.
Yeah, definitely. Competition really tough here. I mean, the guys are fast, and as you saw today, Kevin outpaced me. Actually, it was fun following him for a bit until I screwed the pit stops. Lost 8 seconds, and then I had my setup tuned for the end of the race, but it came way too late. So yeah, congrats to Kevin. Great pace today.
It was fascinating watching you guys on the circuit. Say congratulations to yourself, not only for your second place this evening, but for the championship and the amazing prize you got as well. Very well done to you, Hani, and I wish you all the best for that trip when you get there, and have an amazing time out there. Let us know how you get on over there, and say I wish you all the best for the future as well, Hani.
Thanks.
So that is Hani Al Sabdi taking the big fat prize away with him, and I'm just going to go to our 3rd place guy, Bernard Vela. Apologies if I do have said your name wrong there, but I'd say 3rd place for you. Say you had a great battle there as well, all race long there with the ACR cars. There's particularly Richard there as well. You know, a great race for you in that regard.
Yeah, it was a great race. For some reason, I'm usually faster in qualifying instead of the race. So when I qualified in front of them, I knew that it was going to be hard to keep them behind, but I just had to defend and then manage my pace till the end.
Yeah, and I say, you know, obviously you've got a very good reputation yourself. Obviously, I'll be honest, it's the first time I've seen you race, but obviously you've been around a bit. You've raced the likes of, you know, an F1 2017 champion as well in the F1 game there as well. So you know, his name's missing now. I apologise for that, but you've raced some top quality drivers in the past, and you've raced some other top quality drivers here as well. So an amazing experience and opportunity for you, Guy.
Yeah, the drivers here are really fast, and usually it's a struggle to keep up. But throughout the season, my pace improved, and I finally got onto the pole.
It's good, and the name has just come back to me, Brendan Lee. Apologies, you know, so the name has just come back to me a bit late, but there we are. But congratulations for tonight, obviously, and again, I wish you all the best as well, and I hope you come back, all you guys come back and race here again, and get the name World Pro Racing out there. You know, it deserves a much bigger grid than it has. Obviously, it's his first major series here, but obviously, mention it to other people as well, and hopefully they'll join in as well and race you guys as well in the future as well. So thank you for that. I'll say thanks for all these interviews. I don't know if Adrian, yourself, or Justin have anything else to add.
So definitely, I would like to thank you, David, for being with us today in this final round. It was a pleasure having you commentating this race, and we look forward also to possibly be with us in the future. I would like to thank Continental Cars Limited, which is the main sponsor of this series. Thanks to Sandro and Joanne for their support. Melita, who have powered our streams, GT Omega Racing, Textor, SimNews.tv, and Gaming Malta. I'm going to pass on now my mic to Justin. Actually, I'm going to pass it now to Justin, and he's going to have a last word on this championship.
I have nothing much to say. Thanks to all the drivers, especially those who kept doing the races throughout the championship. Well done. That is what it means being a professional. Being a professional doesn't mean that you win the championship only, but being there, keep on the pace, keep racing. Even if you're last, you keep racing, and that's the professionalism, and that's what we focus on. The thing that I need to thank, apart from all our sponsors who mentioned already, Adrian, is our family who keeps always the support, both of mine and Adrian's, his wife, my wife, and my daughter. They barely see us, and we always working here during Saturday and Sundays, and we appreciate that they understand what we do, and this is what we want to do. We want to reach our targets and give all those impeccable prices that we are offering to the sim racers. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for all the supporters. Thank you, everyone who watches our stream. And that's basically it. Hopefully you will be joining our grip championship, which will be launching very soon, and various other championships coming up in 2019. On to you, Adrian.
So thanks, Justin. Thanks, David. Thanks to all our followers, our viewers. Keep on following us. As we told you, this weekend, tomorrow and Sunday, we have this special event with the real grip drivers from the real series, where they will be taking themselves to the virtual world of racing, and we're gonna see who manages to grab the race this coming weekend, and obviously also take the points to his championship. Thanks again to all our followers. Keep on following us, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Thanks, David. See you soon.
They called it madness. Building the car of your dreams yourself. Madness. Putting the engine in the back. Madness. Launching a turbocharged super sports car in the midst of a worldwide oil crisis. Madness. Taking a sports car into the desert and taking the insights gained there back onto the streets. Madness. Building the first hybrid car on Earth. And when its time had come, the fastest one on Earth. Once more, they called it madness. Let them call it madness. We call it courage. The courage to build a sports car with 4 business class seats. The courage to upgrade not only the driving, but also the driver. The courage to transfer an unmistakable design DNA and create a luxury saloon that was born on the racetrack and is at home on the roads. The new Panamera. Courage changes everything.
Gigabit Internet issa f'Malta. Gawdi mill-Giga Power. Biss mal-Melita Flexi.